This is the Retirement Solution Podcast with financial advisor John Hicks, founder of J. Hagan Capital.
There are so many things that we just have in our mind and we assume that they're correct because we've heard them 100,000 times. We got to get rid of all those myths. If you've done a great job saving, you'd be surprised what you can accomplish when you use the right strategies. Most people just aren't aware of them.
You've worked hard your whole life to earn and save. Now you need a plan to make that money work hard for you.
So people that have sacrificed opportunities to spend money, they sacrificed by putting the money in that 401k. They've sacrificed by putting that money in a 529 college plan for their grandkids. Those types of sacrifices should go rewarded in the long run.
John is here to help you find solutions for your retirement.
It's not lost on me, all of these avenues, channels, and paths you were taking to get the information out, because working is the name of your game, Mr. Hicks. There's lots to be done.
You know, it's amazing. You named those three. I was looking the other day because we were doing our routine thing for the Security and Exchange Commission, trying to figure out, hey, are we saying everything we should?
Yeah.
Do you know you can find us on like 72 different media outlets all over the world?
Jeez.
I know. It's kind of mind-numbing. You know, I'm just a kid from Owensboro, Kentucky. Mom was a public school teacher, taught third grade, primarily 35 years.
Jeez.
My dad was a small town lawyer, which I laugh about now because everyone thought we were rich. No. I mean, that's not how it works in small towns, guys.
I know.
If you keep Cletus's cattle off of your side of the property, you might be able, my dad might charge $100 to get that all fixed up. Wow. So it's amazing when I look about that now.
Yeah.
But we lost Dad a few years ago. But the thing that makes me so amazed is that everything that he instilled in me, which is work hard, do what you love, find your passions, and just make sure that at the end of the day, you're never stopping thinking that this is the best you can be. Always work better. I laugh because I look around at this world today, ladies and gentlemen, I don't see people that were taught that same way.
Right.
Maybe you feel like I do. I don't know. I love my kids. I think they're fabulous. They have some habits that we're going to fix a little bit over time.
FYI,
you know,
girls.
yeah. I mean, and by the way, they do an incredibly great job. But, you know, we're in an interesting world. We're in an interesting dynamic. This is not a political context at all. No. But I think about where I came from and now what we've become. And it's all because of you guys. It's all because of the listeners. It's all because you all hear what I'm saying. You give me input. You tell me what I need to be saying better for you guys. So always understand the only reason that we're here on iHeartRadio and WHAS specifically every weekend, 2 days a weekend, right? Both days of the weekend. Well, we have TV shows on basically all of the local affiliates. Well, we've expanded into 3 other markets, South Carolina, Louisiana, Virginia. The only reason we're doing that is because we're helping people do the right thing for themselves. Right? There's nothing that I'm better at than you'd be better at. All I know is that I've done this for a really long time. This might be your first retirement. This is probably closer to my 3,000th or 4,000th retirement at this point in my career, where we've literally helped enough people and talked to enough people to this point to where I've seen a lot of things that most people think, I mean, I don't know how to deal with this. And we've seen it.
Yeah.
But the whole reason that you made me think about that is like, man, you can hear us on these places. And I'm like, we've been doing this for a really long time.
Yeah.
And it's not that we're good, it's that we're here because we keep evolving to keep up with what's going on out there in the real world.
Well, and you work very hard at that. That's kind of like the whole point. My idea is a work ethic. And then you brought it up about how your parents raised you. And I have to imagine, I mean, younger generations aside, that the folks that come to you, that you meet with, you see this every day. People that have worked and worked and worked and worked and worked. And here they are. And they have no idea what they're supposed to be doing now. In this next phase.
And there's so many different things when you're looking at retirement. Number one, can you do it?
Yep.
You know, is the money going to work out, right? Number two, you know, do we understand our budget in the right ways? Do we know what we really need to create? Guys, there is no one that I can't show you how to create an awesome income stream. And it's not a product based. I can do it any number of ways. But how much do you need to create? Right?
Yeah.
So that's a big thing. So we have to understand that budgetary situation. And number three, how do we keep it away from the government? Those guys know exactly who we are.
Yeah.
They know if we've done well, or even if you think you haven't done well, ladies and gentlemen,
it'll surprise
you.
You
are in the highest tier of income in retirement if you make over $44,500 a year in retirement.
Yep.
I know that sounds ridiculous, but that's where the government decides it can tax you on 85% of your Social Security. That's their cutoff.
Yep.
So I look at it every single day and I just think, man, what can we do? It's not doing better so much as just knowing what to not do wrong.
Doing smarter, if you will. Not doing better, doing smarter, yeah.
And someone says, well, John, here's the thing. I want to hit home runs. And my whole thought is, I understand that, and that's great, but I'm not your guy because I don't care if I ever hit a home run. I'm going to get on base every single time. Mm-hmm. I don't care, but I'm never going to strike out. Mm-hmm. That is the one thing. And retirement is like that. Mm-hmm. We don't get a do-over. We don't get another shot. If we messed it up or unfortunately the administration screws it up and the market doesn't go up for the next 2 years, that's for real for us. It may not be for real for them. Maybe they don't get reelected. I don't know how much that means to those people. Mm-hmm. For us, it might mean, can you stop working or not? Right. So it's very important. So as you listen to the show, just understand we're here as a resource. We're here to help in any way that we can help you. Help us out. Tell us what you want to hear. Tell us the things that I'm doing wrong, the things I'm doing right, the things you love, the things you cherish, the things you detest. And I promise you, just like we've grown over the last 11 years on the show, we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to do better because I guarantee you one thing. It's what my grandmother said from the time I was knee-high to a grasshopper. She said, Jonathan Hagan. And of course, she didn't say it in that voice. She said it more like this. Jonathan Hagan, you cannot do better unless you know better. Mm-hmm. And then her very next poem was, so now, boy, that you know better, what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. That's the way she said it. And basically, it's like, now that you know better, now what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. You didn't just get in trouble. Now you need to evolve. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm asking you the same thing. If I teach you something and you know better, now what are you going to do?
There are so many things that we want to know more about in effort to do better, to continue to do well in the years after we stop working. And what does it always boil down to? You just brought it up a minute ago, the idea of having the income that we need, the idea of having the proper budget in place, understanding how those two things go together. And if you are near retirement or already in retirement and you haven't had a hard conversation with yourself and your spouse about how you're going to cover monthly living expenses, then waste no more time. It is crucial. Morningstar.com interviewed Kerry Pector, editor of the Retirement Income Journal, and here's what he had to say.
The simplest approach is just to figure out what it's going to cost you a month to live, figure out what you're going to get in Social Security, take the difference, and then you have to think about how can I make that difference? How can I bridge that gap in a way that's palatable to me and that gives me the protection from risk that makes me feel secure so that I'm not sitting there watching CNBC every night and wondering whether I'm going to run out of money when I get older.
How do we bridge the gap and not stay up all night watching CNBC is
Carrie
basically the bottom line.
Carrie nailed it. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. That's why I say, hey, what do we want to achieve? What is your budget? What are you going to be spending? Because guys, I will promise you, super quick, you need 3 to 5 income streams when you retire. Okay. 3 to 5. Okay. If you have Social Security, boom, there's 1. If you have a pension, boom, there's 2. Now you need 1 to 3 more. Now, what if you don't have a pension? Well, now we got some work to do, right? Yep. So let's talk about what my best clients do. And by best clients, every single one of them, because they are all contributing these numbers. Okay. Number 1, you can have an Airbnb or a VRBO. You get that lake house. You don't use as much as you thought you did. Rent that sucker out. Make some money. But if you can do it as business income, you might actually get a lot more tax deductions for things that you can write off. That might be one of the most genius things you can do because the tax code works 2 ways. There's one for individuals and there's another for companies. The company one is better. Number 2, you can look at tax-free muni bonds. Give you money every single month. You don't have to pay taxes on it. You can consider an annuity, which essentially is all a pension is, by the way. It doesn't matter if you like or don't like them. The whole point is, do you want a pension? Well, that's basically what an annuity is. You can consider that. You can do some part-time work. There are all kinds of places right now all over the state that are saying, man, we need people to work in that flower division of Lowe's, Home Depot, Menards. Take your pick, and you get to work seasonal hours that you might enjoy. Mm-hmm. There's all kinds of other stuff you can do to make some part-time money. Etsy, eBay. I got clients that make fortunes. And when I say fortunes, $40,000, $70,000, $80,000 a year, doing it no more than 10 or 15 hours a month, guys.
Wow, that's awesome.
I'm for real. I know. That's why I'm asking them. I asked them. That's why I'm telling you.
How do you
this
do
is a
that?
condensed list. This is crazy. And I don't know how to do it, but they do.
Yeah.
And they do it. I'll set you up with those guys.
Okay.
You can use structured notes. Structured notes might be paying 6, 7, 8, 9% right now. And they have safety nets against all of them, which is really pretty good. Guys, these are all things that we can consider. The point is that do you know what you're going to need to spend in retirement? And then after that, where's the fun money? The best retirement plans that I've ever seen start with one thing. What would you like to do? Notice that it doesn't say, what would you like to earn? What would you like to save? What it says is, what would you like to do? Mm-hmm. And it evolves around you. Our firm works exactly that way. There is not one preconceived notion I have in my head on what anyone needs to own. Simply, where are you today and what would you like your money to do for you? If we solve that for you, because we don't solve it for you, we solve it with you. Mm-hmm. If we solve that correctly, you're going to know how much protection your money has, how much income it can create, what our tax plans are, and how you don't give Uncle Sam almost all of your money because they want it all.
Yeah.
How do you make sure that it goes to your kids or the right places where you want it to go? Or if you don't have kids, it goes to the right charities you want. And how do you make sure you offset health care without going broke in a nursing home, right? If you do those 5 things correctly, you have a bulletproof retirement plan. Now, there's not one way to solve that. There's hundreds or thousands of different variables to that.
Right.
But if you don't know that today, my thought is you need to get a second opinion. I recommend you get it from a skilled fiduciary advisor, whether it's us or someone else. And I want you to start going on the right path because I promise you one thing. When the paycheck stops, that is when the real fear can begin, unless you have the right plan.
Thanks for listening to the Retirement Solution Podcast with John Hicks. Begin the conversation about your savings plan with John and the team at J. Hagan Capital by visiting retirementsolutionradio.com. Be sure to listen to John's radio show, The Retirement Solution, Saturdays at 8 a.m. and Sundays at 9 a.m. on News Radio 840 WHAS.
J. Hagan Capital Inc. is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Hagan Capital Inc. is licensed in your state, please call 502-690-5635. J. Hagan Capital Inc. is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency. It does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Jonathan Hicks, insurance license number 548962.